Right, so we are, I think, last one, so we can get some little bit more time to show our demo presentation as well. So here, my name is.
No more time. You have the same amount of time.
All right, all right. So my name is Dhananjay Singh. I'm a professor in the Department of Intelligent and Information System under the College of IST, and with me, Dr. Sofia.
Hello, my name is Sofia Vidalis. I'm also from Penn State Harrisburg in the civil engineering program.
So you guys can see we have integrated computer science and AI with the civil engineering departments. So that's why we both are going to present our work, what we have done so far here in this project. And so before starting this project, we also did a lots of real survey regarding the project, why we need that, where the technology need for that. So I'm going to give very brief introduction, then Dr. Sophia will continue about the survey and about that. So about this project where we try to integrate home with the smart home with the aging in place. So that means that we want to solve the problems not only for the old age people, we also want to solve the problem for the doctors. He want to remotely monitor their patients, and the family member who care about their parents, they can remotely also monitor about that. And of course the person, he can monitor his health condition before going to be serious any issues, or after the surgery they can also doctors, and they can also monitor their day-to-day services about that. And before going that, so we did a lots of study behind that, so you guys can see here so why we need this kind of technology in United States. You can see that 61.2 million people are 65+% of the age. This is the survey in 2024, where it is showing that 18% of the peoples are coming from the old age person, and then we did in the Pennsylvania as well, where you can see that 26 to 27 million people also coming from that. That is the ratio when we see that. So every there is by 2030, one of the people, 5 of 1 peoples will be 65+ year old in United States, and the Pennsylvania we have out of 3 peoples to 1 people become 65%. So for that we try to solve a lots of challenges here. Especially we would like to enable the real-time health monitoring tracking system. For that, we would like to support and detect the healthcare data from the persons, as well as we want to create a safe environment for the person, and then we want to integrate from the healthcare system with the smart home technology, and then we would like to reduce the cost of the throughout the prevention and safety purpose for the oldest systems as well. These are our visions, where we would like to fully develop the connected housing with the data where we would like to collect for that, and also we use AI technology, which is going to be remotely monitor and analyzing those data regarding the housing and the person, to predict information, to give the solutions for the person's old age people as well as doctor as well. So these all are the places where already the peoples are using. You guys can see that there are lots of money involved here, the technologies are using. So we can see that graph, which graph is just showing that where the old age people are caring about that, housing systems are going for that. But once we develop this kind of connected technology, we want to save a lots of money with that respect of that. And also we would like to also reduce the medium peoples who would like be mediator from the patient and the doctor. Here we would like to make, based on the technology, a lots of solutions on that. So survey is going to be talking about Dr. Vidalis.
Okay, as Dr. Singh was saying about, today we have about 13 million in the state of Pennsylvania. So if you can think about 20% of that population is 65 and older. So this is some important research that we were looking at in order to figure out, all these people, what are they doing now with technology? Are they familiar with technology? So we looked at local and nationally. We looked at 200 applications, but we had to weed out some certain items there to make sure that they all, were what we were looking for in the questionnaires, and only 50% was the sample size at the end. So we looked at more of the survey constructs on digital confidence, how confident they were in using technology. perceived value about technology, support availability, current exposure. What was their current exposure in technology? The private concern, because that was an also important aspect, and the willingness to use technology. So looking at the age aspect that we were looking at, the survey, the majority was in between 65 and 69 years old. And then you can see the rest over there. And we also looked at their living status. So we can see 88% there was in assisted living, and the other one was independent living. So that is also important because, having an elderly living on their own, they might not be having the greatest care, or we not aware of what's going on. If everyone has their loved one not being close or nearby, not understanding how they're feeling or what they're going through, those are some of the things that we wanted to shed light on. And so the adoption factors that we actually looked through the survey, we saw that the device exposure, they had about 2.2 devices. So that's kind of like a few things, like a smartphone, for example, internet. Openness to trial. This was the great thing because our research is in progress. So our next step is to actually do, test this to patients. And that came out to 67.3. We wanted that to be high enough so we can continue our research. So that was good. And openness to platform. Since me and Dr. Singh and I have a couple platforms we're going to be showing, that was actually a good percent as well. 63.3% were open to a platform. And need training, that was another thing. That was 85.4. So they were, they wanted to learn more about the technology, so they were open and to need training. And another thing there for future important ratings there, they were interested in, the highest one was health tracking. So that's kind of common, what people in the elderly would want to know about is tracking their own health. The next one was medication reminders. That became another important factor. And then the rest were emergency alerts, video calling, and smart lighting. So those are some of the things that we want to also incorporate.
So there it comes to the technology when we would like to build about those kind of systems. So here, if we go for the aging in place, it means that we would like to develop the very safe environment, and that can also remotely monitor by the persons. So especially these are the technology where you guys can see that when we want to build the smart home, especially we would like to see that the patient or the person is taking medications there on time or not, what is the movement is that, what is their sentiments behind that when he's living alone inside the house. So to build this kind of applications, we have to include a lot of sensors that we call IoT sensors. There are also biomedical device like this kind of ring or smartwatch is also collecting their daily waste data. These all technology collected from the patient's body, and also the housing system automatically lighting will be changing modes. We want to integrate this all system so where the person can feel more comfortable to live inside their house as well. And why we do that? Because we have to go for the family members, they really want to care about their parents, so they can remotely also monitor what's going on with their parents. And also there are the person who can go for the medications things. Doctor really want to see that their patients are taking medications on time or not. So to build this kind of solve this kind of application, we must have to go for the smart sensors, variable devices, and then we have used a lots of AI technology, where AI technologies are collecting like 1 week's data, 1 month's data, after analyzing and making the report chart from the technology as well. So here what we try to do that there are the inputs, and this second one is showing that the processing layer, and last one is the outputs data. So the input data, there are the voice, the persons can record their voice data input as well. We want to go for the visualization like facial expression data, and also he can go for the manual logs. So there are the 4 types of input data we were collecting. One is the facial expression, voice, and text data, and another 4th one is the digital data, what is remotely they are collecting as well from their health body, but the sensor like a smartwatch or this kind of rings they can connect for that. After the processing this all inputs data, where we have used for AI edge, Then we use for the also NLP cloud, where are the lots of natural language programming algorithm that some people talk about LLM. So we have also analyzed those kind of things. Then we use for the security, and then go for the path analysis, how they are moving inside the house, those all data processing based on the sensor. And then outputs, what we try to do, go for that, there are the display boards, and also they can go for the dashboard, and also smart alert. If something is emergency come up, there will be the alert system, and then everybody connected people get to know that what's going on really at the same time. Then also there are the therapy, if they are needing remotely, doctor can go for the medication, they can guide for them, and the family members always connected with them as well, so they can monitor. So we try to make this kind of platform where really we need to connect them how real time and monitoring those kind of systems as well. So here are the one is the sensors, which we call that environmental sensors, variable integrations. I'm not going too much detail about that, but these are the major technologies which we have considered to build the whole systems technology. Then we talk about here is the security and NLP and AI algorithms. These kind of algorithms we have considered to make it more better solutions for that. And then after computer visions, as I said, the sentiment analysis. So what we did that the persons, when he wake up early morning, he can take his snapshot with this smartphone, or there are the camera, they can also making his behavior and cameras data, what's going on about that. So based on the application, there are in the survey we talk about, we found that lots of people are not comfortable about their security, like they don't want to share their real image, or they don't want to share their real data to everyone. So there are the options. They don't need to be share directly all data to the cloud. These all data will be recorded in their smartphone. We have developed that whole apps by ourselves. And then after, they can take out the printout. Once they are visiting to the doctors, they just show them their all medical records if they do not want to share. If they want to share their data, of course, they can share with the family members, doctor, and other person as well. So we provide them the whole solutions for that. There are the 24/7 monitoring. If something is happened, they can talk to the persons as well. And these are the technology which we want to go for the use for that. This is our apps where we would like to use for our solutions, where got the integrated. I'm going very quickly. So these are the ethics and privacies. So these are the ethics, because lots of people talk about why we should use this technology, how much we are going to trust about the platform, right? So we must have to go for that. So we use the security algorithm, and also I'm going to directly jump to the demo. These are the stakeholders. I have talked about them. Like these are the operators. They really need to know this kind of technology. Developers, they want to use this technology. Healthcare partners, building environment, like civil engineering people really want to involve, and they want to make a smart housing system. And there are the lots of limitation, because we just go for 50, and then after we have to go for that. Here are the demo, what really we want to show for that. For example, we have used VR, where the persons are moving, but you guys can see that there are lots of real image about the housing. So we use algorithm to go for this kind of heat map, so nobody can share their information, what's going on, but they are collecting real data, his pattern about the moving and this kind of things as well. Then after, whole idea here is that we would like to make the solutions for the persons where they want to go for that. And this is our app where they can see this kind of whole healthcare records, weekly and monthly data. And then once they got the rate data, and after checking the data, so we believe that the person is so happy and he's just playing game, old age people, and enjoying his life. Doctor is also having a long trip, and he can see his patients, all patients data, and now he's recording his all patient data. All patients are good. Doctor is also happy, and he's moving around the trip. He's going for their trips as well. So these are the problems we try to solve: the old age people's problem, doctor's problem, and technology going to cover. So I'm here ready to give your questions answer now. Thank you so much. Here are the whole video. All right. So here left side just showing our apps. I have just included. By the way, you guys can see, but feel free to ask me question now. Thank you so much.
One question.
Yes, please.
I had elderly parents, and they both passed away. And something like this, where we could look in from afar
Yes.
and reassure them that everything was going okay, and
Yes.
let them live independently longer. And if you could check in with the doctor automatically, remotely, without intruding and without, making them upset, if it could just be a passive system, that would have been a beautiful thing in their lives towards the end. It really
Right.
would have been.
That's true. It would also, with AI now, it can also kind of summarize for the day and kind of look into things before, it happens.
And hospitals would
Uh-huh.
love that because
Yeah.
the outcomes would be better. They would take their medication. You would be able to have better reimbursement from Medicare because the patients wouldn't be readmitted.
Yeah,
It really has a lot of benefit.
that's true. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Don't break your computer.